Coach, really on the way. Just give us some thoughts and feelings on how you thought the team performed tonight.
Good question. Yeah, I thought we made our little runs. Got 6 up, and that just seemed to, right before the half, they made a really good run back at us to get back in front. The same thing. We punched it out again in the second half, and just weren't able to sustain it. And I was a little shocked at halftime to go and look, and it's like they're 18 of 18 from 2-point range. You don't see that very often, and then to look at it at the end of the game to say they're 81% from 2, and some of them were tough ones, but there's some drives and layups that and some transition that we've got to be a lot better in guarding that. But Lopez was on another level tonight, and highly efficient, and got himself to the foul line as well.
Dean, up 8 with 4.5 to go. Normally, a game your group would close out. What was it? Them, Lopez, and particularly playing well, or did you guys come up a bit short? Yeah,
we had a couple of turnovers in that patch as well. But I thought the way we tried to guard, obviously more stretch bigs on the floor tonight with Robbie and Max Darling at different times, and how we rotated through that and did a pretty decent job. Got a little scary about how their coaching staff was trying to manipulate it a little bit, and they end up hitting a big 3 at a key time. But we had turnovers after that, and so I thought they played really well down the stretch, and they scored it at a high level, and we made a couple of errors.
What are your thoughts on Kareem Lopez? I mean, you've seen him a few times now, and he's been in the league for 2 years. He's still only 18. Obviously going into the NBA draft later. Did he showcase tonight, I guess, what that league can look forward to?
Yeah, I thought he was amazing, and I'm sure it's probably, I don't know, numbers-wise, it's probably his best game ever. To be on the other side of it, and to see the force that he comes downhill with, and just the way he finished tonight, and take contact, make fadeaways, baseline catches and finishes around the rim. I just thought he had really soft hands and played extremely well. What he hit for the 3 ball? Just hit the one.
I think one that was close. Got ruled 2.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, down the stretch. So. I think there's some, so obviously some areas of his game that he's got to improve on, but that's one hell of a game tonight in front of some scouts.
When you saw the breakers without Meninga, without Baker, the undersized, did you clearly had a plan to go into GC, and he was pretty effective, but did you anticipate this sort of battle from them, having seen what they've been playing like the last few weeks?
Yeah, without a doubt. Kiwi players, anytime there's a little bit more of an underdog, it's like, we're just going to go for it. And so we were anticipating a lot more pace in the game, a lot more drives and attack on the rim. And then, potentially thought there was going to be, a higher level of 3 balls with this group coming in. So, we certainly didn't think without those 2 bodies on the floor, we thought we might have a better advantage on the boards, and Jesse did a good job, but overall I thought they handled their physicality and the rebounding part pretty well for the bodies that they had.
Chris?
Yeah, Dave, before I get to the game, you've just come back from Tom's jersey retirement ceremony, and obviously you've had a massive part of his career, those 4 championships that he won. You were all a pretty big part of as well. Was that an emotional experience after that, or what was it like for you to be there, to be part of it?
Yeah, no, it wasn't quite emotional. It was just Tommy handled himself really well. If he had got emotional, maybe other people would have, but I thought he just handled the situation really well, was grateful, and it was a pleasure to be a part of his career. It's not often that you get to start with a development player, who's probably thinking about coming back playing volleyball, and probably would have been pretty good at it if he had chosen that but to see the growth throughout the 9 years that we were with him, and again to help, give him the opportunity in New Zealand NBL to be a superstar in that level, and then see him take it on at the Breakers level and the Tall Black level. He's. There's not many body types like him. He's a perfect basketball body. He used it well with his shot blocking, his dunking, and his rebounding as well. And then the shot came along. So, hell of a career, and, pleased that he's got the number hanging up there.
There's not many situations he doesn't handle well, is there?
No, as I said, my one comment about him, very balanced person, and it was great fun celebrating with him, but it was also on the other side when you take a tough loss, having chats with Tommy about how you get better and how you move forward. We're just as good.
Just onto the game, like you touched on before, is the biggest thing to come out of this for you how easy it was for them to score going towards the basket and inside? Like you said, I think they were 18 of 18 from 2 in the first half, and 80-odd% in for the entire game. Is that the biggest takeaway that you do come away from this game with?
Yeah, there's a lot of things. Obviously, that's the area statistically to say, that shouldn't happen and doesn't happen very often. And so, I give him credit for shooting it that well. Obviously, the transition ones and the when we got the coverage wrong, that just allowed them, straight to the rim without it being contested. And I think there's 6 or 7 of those. I think we've got to be much better at. There's we have an extra 13 possessions, and for whatever reason, I just felt like the contact, we just weren't getting to the foul line the same way that they were getting to the foul line, and so I lost my brain too much, and I've got to be better to move on and make sure I'm coaching my team through those moments as well.
The biggest positive was obviously getting Shane back, and it's a great bonus getting back for this game. Now you've got a full week before you have to play again, so he can continue to build up as well. So that was a positive to take out of it.
Yeah, he got through it, and obviously he's a plus 11 in his 15 minutes, and so it was just good for him to get through a game, and now we just got to continue to manage him well and make sure by the time we get through the FIBA window and out the other side that he's capable of playing 22, 24 minutes for us.
Just lastly, how do you approach next week now? So you've got a full week before you have to play Adelaide next Saturday, and then you've got those last 4 games, and then hopefully after the FIBA window you've got some more games as well. So how do you approach next week to get ready for those last 4 games, and then hopefully another break, and then continue on after that? Yeah,
we'll pick our moments to really go hard. With the Perth to Bendigo to Perth to New Zealand, it's there's been some travel there, and we've tried to play a lot of people. We didn't play anyone 30 minutes tonight. We've tried to move people around, and so hopefully, there's the fatigue of the travel is not going to be too bad. But again, we'll pick our moments. We look forward to the challenge of playing Adelaide.
Thanks, Dave.
Any more questions?
Just one quick question.
Yeah.
You've had 4 games where you've lost by 3 points or less, and 4 games where you've won by 3 points or less. How do you feel as though you're handling the late game situation, and particularly this evening?
Yeah, and when I look back at it, and did we get our coverage right? I thought we had a bad turnover after a score that was pretty critical, and we've got to be a lot better in that situation. Did the right people touch the ball? I think CG, on a go-ahead basket, we got him a good one there. Last play is the last play. Shilly's got a pass to Jesse for a layup. There's contact, no call. You couldn't ask for any better kind of shot on that last play.
And sorry, just one more. Could you just elaborate on Jesse Edwards' performance tonight? Are we starting to see the best of him since the turn of the new year?
Yeah, I think he's been great, and not too much foul trouble tonight. There's always going to be a couple of coverages about how do we protect the rim, but I just thought his efficiency, his want to go and get offensive rebounds and give us second possessions, and his touch around the rim was pretty good tonight. So continually growing. We're throwing the ball to him more in the block, and they doubled him a few times tonight. He found the outlet of it. Continuing to grow as a player.
Thanks, Frank.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks, Dino.